Hello and welcome back to another episode of All the Mods 9. Today we're going to be getting into Evilcraft and getting our resource generation going. Did you know that the mouth of this thing moves as you move? It's amazing. It turns out 5 simulation chambers and 1 loot fabricator, my fabricator just can't keep up. It appears to keep up with 4, but the fifth one is just outproducing it. We may fix this eventually. That's not the point of today. I did go ahead and craft some dragon heads, just in case we needed them later. You can see the server's been running for a little while. We've got over 1,000,000 dragon's breath now. And in between episodes, I did a couple things. I put Unbreaking 3 on every single miner. I didn't go higher. I didn't think it was necessary, because we will be repairing these things as they take damage. This is just to keep them from taking damage with every operation. And I decided I'd prepare a little bit for the episode. I made some annihilation planes, and I enchanted them with Fortune 3, and I made some formation planes. So my plan is, as the miners generate the ore, they generate ore in the silk touched version. I'm just going to break it. I'm not going to store the silk touched versions at all. I just want the raw versions. My thinking here is I already have raw ores, and I didn't want to then start mixing in silk touched ores with my raw ores. Also, between episodes, I don't know if I showed this already, I crafted up some 4 million mega cells. So now we've got more crafting storage. We've got so much fluid storage. So much room for items as well. So we've been busy. If we head upstairs, went ahead and made some experience bees. These experience bees, they just produce experience for us. And that goes into my experience crystal. Just a little planning ahead. I figure we will need levels at some point, especially as we get into apotheosis and chanting. And I needed it as I put Unbreaking on all the miners, Fortune on my annihilation planes. They were pretty easy to set up though. And if I ever want to put apotheosis modifiers on this, it's like 100 levels or 150 in the reforging table. Lastly, something I did between episodes was I silenced every single machine. All of my mechanism machines are muffled now, fully. I didn't realize they took 4 muffling upgrades each. We also finally backed up on sulfuric acid, sulfur trioxide, and sulfur dioxide. So now we're finally getting sulfur dust in our system for use with GregTech. But all of our machines are silent. Oh, that's not good. Our reactor turned off. I'm going to take care of that real quick. So between episodes, the server did crash. I didn't check the logs. I don't know why it crashed. But I went ahead and just made a quick hole realm. I put some DT fuel in it. All we're waiting for is this guy to charge up to 400 million FE. And then we can fire the laser amplifier and restart it. We should be okay in the meantime. We're only using about, we'll call it 68,000 FE. And upstairs, we still have that setup of thermo generators, which should be generating about 330,000 maybe. So we're fine. While that charges up, let's go ahead and try and make this blood chest. We're going to need a blood infusion core. And I've done a little Evilcraft already. You may notice I have a blood extractor. One of the cool things about the blood extractor is when you first craft it, it can only hold 5 buckets. But you'll see mine holds almost 1,500 buckets. The cool thing about it is if I craft a dark tank, we'll craft the block version for 144 buckets. I can combine my blood extractor with my dark tank to make a blood extractor with a bigger tank. So 145, 1.45 million plus 144,000. We get a little under 1.6 million millibuckets of blood. Just a handy little way to make sure you are able to gather enough blood rather than gathering it in 5 bucket increments. And you can see I carry it around with me as I run around the overworld and kill mobs. We've also got some condensed blood, that'll come in handy. But we don't have any machines. So I'm going to need to make this blood infuser. To do that, I need to make a dark power gem. The dark power gem, I need to put 5 buckets of blood down. And throw a dark gem in it. Should be easy enough. And just right click some blood out and throw our dark gem right inside. Now we have a dark power gem. Using that, I have some hardened blood shards. I forget where exactly I got these. May have been a quest reward. Or I had some hardened blood. Let's get some more. Fairly easy to get. You just fill a square with blood and you leave it to dry. Somewhere in here I have flint and steel. Once it's dry, you break it with your flint and steel. So that'll take a moment. While that's progressing, we can go ahead and do this. Make our blood infuser. Now to fill it, I can just right click it with my blood extractor. And that should put 10 buckets of blood inside. Now my goal with Evilcraft here is to make the Bloody Bee. Because I don't want to make a mob farm for blood. I don't want to run around in the overworld hunting for mobs just to collect their blood. Here we go, we've got hardened blood. Breaking it with the flint and steel, and we get some hardened blood shards. Now that we have our blood infuser, I can infuse dark gems directly. I don't need to spend 5 buckets of blood. I only need to spend 250 millibuckets of blood, but it will take 10 seconds. That should make us the blood chest. If I had planks. Like I said, I wanted bloody bees. And bloody bees, they can breed with each other because this information pane doesn't say they can't. And it says to look up their spawn egg. So I need to make blood orbs. Blood orbs take 10 buckets each. I need to make 16. So I don't have enough blood right now. That's okay. I take empty orbs, which are easy to craft. Make 16 of those. And I need the promise of tenacity 1 to make a blood orb. The promise of tenacity is a machine upgrade. To make that, we're going to need an iron promise acceptor. I hope I have a spider eye. And we can use any tier bowl of promises. We'll go with tier 0 because that's the only one we can make, which means we need to make a bowl of empty promises. For that, we need 3 of these dark power gems. The nice thing is we'll be able to reuse our empty bowl of promises, or our bowl of empty promises, once we've made it. It's not consumed, it just consumes the inside of the bowl. It's like eating soup. At least I hope you don't eat the bowl when you eat soup. 3 dark power gems. We can make our bowl of empty promises. Let's dust it. We're getting this crushed dark gem because we have dark gem bees. And they produce us dark gems and crushed dark gems. So we have a very nice supply of it. We don't have to go hunting in the overworld for this. We're getting undead logs from a hopper botany pot in case we need those for something. Now we put our dusted bowl of promises through our blood infuser to make a tier 0. Oh, geez, 50 seconds. That's all right. We're also going to need a block of iron and 25 more seconds. Whoops. If you take the blood out, it does restart the process. So we're starting that again on accident. I mean, to just interact with the machine, not suck all the blood out. We may have enough blood because I have been picking up condensed blood. You can find these in loot chests, and you can just insert them into a machine to have extra blood. I'm not going to make you wait through the entire recipe, so you'll just see it completed. All right, here we have our Iron Promise Acceptor, our Tier 0 Bowl of Promises, and a Spider Eye. We can make our Promise of Tenacity. And it just used the contents, so we've got a bowl of empty promises again. And that's what these upgrades here are for. That did use pretty much all of our condensed blood, but now we can hopefully start processing these empty orbs into blood orbs. Oh, wow. 150 seconds. Well, I'll be back. Alright. While we're waiting for those things to craft, we will need more blood. So, I reckon we have a trip in store for us. We have a teleport pad here. We will go to the other. So I realized I haven't been there yet. Gonna make ourselves a little bit of space to stand. And let's go to the top. With my handy dandy running shoes, I do have step assist. Since I'm thinking about it, before we get too far into here, let's craft ourselves a waystone. Let's see if we can't find ourselves a pyramid. One thing you'll notice, you can't fly in this dimension. But that's okay. We can walk. Oh, I forgot how slow soul sand is. Thing I have heard is you can spam your jetpack over and over to go. To fly essentially in this dimension, even with the no fly zone mod. Uh I'm gonna not do that. And instead just walk. I'll see you when we get there, because this might take a second. Right. I must say I love that the leaves of these trees have no collision. You can just walk right through them. And soul sand, I really hate now. That took way longer than it needed to. That's alright though. We made it. We're now here. I'm gonna try and capture one of these guys. I don't know if I can. We'll find out. I need a lot of XP. Huh. Now I know. I'm gonna call this the just pyramid. The pyramid. I'm not crazy enough to try and kill a piglich. I know I haven't got the damage. 16 damage is going to take way too long to hurt this guy. When I do 4 points of damage with each hit. So instead, I'm just going to kill everything inside. Because there are a lot of spawners in here. And some pretty good loot. I'll show you the spoils once we get through this. And we've gained a little bit of blood. See you in just a moment. This place is insane. None of these spawners are upgraded, I don't think. Maybe the top ones here? If I could see them? It doesn't look like any of these spawners are upgraded. It is just the sheer quantity of them. All spawning mobs on us. We've got a good number of levels. We've managed to pick up 30 now. I might try and pick up a piglich again. See if I can't grab them. And if I can't, well, we can come right back. Anytime. This is just too fun, though. Alright. Let's try and grab ourselves a piglich. Let's get down and out of here. If there are any pigliches around, where'd they all go? I wonder if they despawned because of all the mobs that spawned. Oh well. We went through quite a bit of avocado toast there. Wow. Alright, let's try and figure out what we got. So, we picked up a couple of enchanted books. Fortune 4 might be nice. Mystical Enlightenment 6 will come in handy. Vorpal 5, definitely good. There are 4 blocks of netherite in there. Not that we need it, but it's still nice to have. We picked up a couple of gems of the Warlord, which I'm going to keep. I have a chest I have over here just full of some gems that I plan on using eventually. The Gem of the Samurai, will keep that one as well. The Lunar Gem, I'll break down. The Holy Gem, I'll break down. Got tons of mob loot. A Potion of Healing. Some bundles. I'm going to delete these. Got tons of armor we can break into components. I could keep some of this, but we've got all the modium, so why bother? And netherite gloves, I'm going to keep those. Some allthemodium nuggets, some vibranium nuggets. I'm going to wear these netherite gloves, replace our diamond gloves. Get ourselves some arcane sand, some gem dust. That's going to come in handy later. I only broke a couple spawners, and I'm just going to delete them. I have no use for spawners. I wonder how many levels I need to capture. Let's grab 100. And let's go back and see if we can't capture a piglich. Wonder if we need to be gone for a while to let these guys despawn. Yeah, we'll try again in a minute. But we did get quite a bit of blood. Hopefully this is enough. And yeah, I'll see you when we have 16 blood orbs. Welcome back. We've now got our 16 blood orbs. Now I can take 2 of our Nomad Bee spawn eggs, surround them with some blood orbs, and make 2 bloody bee spawn eggs. That we can make ourselves super genes, which we should have some ready and available. We do. We only need 1 set of super genes, 1 honey treat, and we'll just craft it all together to make the very high productivity, any weather tolerance, Mediternal honey treat. And I'm going to go a little bit away so that they don't try and fly into a hive. Feed them and capture them. Reason we only need 1 is I'm going to breed them, and I take the lavender out and wait a second for these bees to finish breeding. You'll see that the bee on the left is the one that the child bee will take the genes from. The bee on the right is the possible gene inheritor, but it'll be like recessive genes, whereas these will be dominant. So I'll go ahead and show you what I mean. I want to put my bloody bee with the good traits on the left, this bloody bee with the less than ideal traits on the right. And if any of these traits were better than the bee on the left, there'd be a chance of getting those genes, but it wouldn't be guaranteed. However, putting them on the left, since they are the best that they can be, I'm guaranteed these genes at a minimum. I'll be back once I've bred 20 of these guys, but the first one I'll let you see, so you can see the idea. I've got ahead and also started sorting my inventory. These bees, I'm going to use a heated centrifuge, which should destroy the wax, but if it doesn't, I've also got a heated, or an item trash can for the wax. I don't need to keep it. 4 speed upgrades for the centrifuge, a feeding slab, which I'll put hardened blood on. It's these bloody bees flower on hardened blood. And you can see my very high productivity, my any weather tolerance, and mediternal behavior all came through. It looks like it also mutated a bit to get a strong endurance. Despite the parents having a weak endurance, that didn't matter. Alright, I'll be back once I've gotten 20 bloody bees. Alright, just like that, we've got all our bloody bees, for some reason with different amounts of current health, but that's okay. We can put the parents away, just in case I need more later. And we're back to breeding wannabes, to have more children, for more mob farms. Something I'm farming now would be, there are sheep in this one. I decided I needed a good source of wool. Previously, I was just using string and making string with flax. I've decided to upgrade this. Decided I'll go straight for wool, and to make string, I will crush the wool into string. One of the main driving factors behind this was I decided to look at the star recipe some more. We need this 1,048,000,000 fluid storage part that's used in making the improbable probability device. And I decided, well, if I'm going to make 18 of these, I need a lot of string. You can see here almost 20,000 string, and 7,000 flax wasn't going to cut it. Additionally, another thing I get from this is mutton. Mutton is going to help us out because we can macerate that into mincemeat. Mincemeat will eventually start making raw growth medium. You can see this is at IV in a sterile clean room. Sterilize that growth medium, chemical react it to make stem cells and bacterial sludge, all in the pursuit of neuroprocessing units to make wetware circuits. That's one of the last circuits, but a little planning ahead never hurt. I also put inside of these ones a phantom. I'm struggling to actually get anything from the phantom. Because I realized one of the things we need are phantom membranes to make Mundabitter dust, to make diorum, to make the diorum block, which is part of Philosopher's Fuel. So we don't need a lot of it, but we definitely need some. And for some reason, I'm not getting any yet. That's something I'll work on later. But we've got our bees. So it's time to head back down. Try and configure some kind of setup for our bloody bees to collect blood for us and put it in the blood chest. So I'll be back once I've got that sorted. And just like that, there we go. Got the beehives in the center of this trunk, the modular router, pulling the combs out, just sending them to this centrifuge. Making us blood. A lot of that blood's being wasted, but I just need to make sure that this tank or this chest stays full. Which I think this will be able to manage. I hope. With that, I believe we can also finally start setting up our miners. It turns out I don't need this trash can. Miners. Let's see. Gonna want some more modular routers down here to be able to pull the miners out of the dimensional mine shafts and put them in the chest, as well as pull miners that are repaired out of the chest and put them back into the dimensional mine shafts. So that means I'm going to need at least 2 modular routers for that and a bunch of distributor modules. Just deciding where it would make sense to place these. I'm thinking little plus signs like this would be quite nice. Bring them a little closer. That way they're a little bit more checker patterned, or checkerboard pattern. And I can place the last 2, or the last set of 2 in the front here. Get my 2 modular routers out. I think I will place them back here. It'd be nice to see their faces from the front. Each distributor module can handle 8, so I'm going to need 6 of these distributor modules. Figure half to transfer into the router and half to transfer out. The ones transferring out will whitelist and match item damage. on a fully repaired miner. The ones transferring in will blacklist and match item damage on a fully repaired miner. That way, they'll pull in a master miner merit whenever it takes some durability damage. And this one will send out the master miner merits whenever they are repaired. I'm going to also need some speed upgrades, I believe. I want to make sure these things are speedy. And we may need some pullers and senders. So one of these has to pull. I wonder if I can pull from the top of the blood chest. Perfect. I'll set this puller module up the same way. Blacklist, match item damage. So it will pull out of the blood chest only fully repaired miners and distribute them. This one I will put a sender. So it will pull damaged miners into it, and it will send those into the blood chest. I can also interact with the top. That's very good. Blacklist. This should be whitelist. All right, with that, I believe I can start putting my miners in. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here. You see one already took damage. Never set the distributors. I have to make sure that these interact with the top of the dimensional mine shaft. The top is where you can insert and extract the miners. It's quite difficult once you accidentally set the side to unset the side. The one thing I'm missing is perhaps the most important thing, gathering the ores that these will generate and destroying them into their raw version. But now if I throw this guy in, he's going to get pulled out, put into the blood chest, repaired, pulled out of the blood chest, and put into one of the mine shafts. Modular routers are quite powerful, so we'll keep using them for our purposes here. The sound of the annihilation plane and the formation plane can be quite annoying, so I'm going to place this modular router here. I need 3 more distributor modules. These will transfer into the router. These will be pulling out of all of the mine shafts and are going to send somewhere. Probably a buffer chest for the formation planes. The formation plane is going to try and build or place in world a block from the storage it can see. If I have a buffer chest and I put a storage bus on that and separate the network so that the formation plane is on a separate network and its only storage is that chest, it will place those blocks. I think that'll be our best bet. Oh, gross. I forgot that once these fill with honey, they start dripping. Is it honey? Who's to say? I'll be right back once I've figured out how I'm going to do the ores. I'll probably pull this line over and use another point to points connection. Go from there. Okay. Here's what I have set up. Like I said, I just pulled over the red cable, did another point to point, P2P, and I've got my annihilation planes. I have a quartz fiber, so these networks are not connected. So this is a subnetwork with my formation planes and an import bus on a backpack with some stack upgrades, just in case it gets backed up with ores. I don't think that'll happen, but better to be safe. I did move my modular router a little bit. Now I need to set all the distributor modules to be on the sides. Just ore out. This area sounds gross. I don't know about you guys, but I dislike the sound of the falling honey. All right, finally. Finally, we can put our miners to work. If I just fill this chest, they should automatically distribute. And now, we're gaining ores. Might be easier if I look for raw ore. Yeah, there we go. We're starting to get raw ores in our system. Awesome. That was quite a detour. All so that we could finish low voltage. Because we needed gallium and we needed cobaltite. While I'm here, I might as well collect my rewards for the other quests I've completed. Let's see what we end up getting. Oh, that reminds me. I did make the 256M storage component. So that should have completed that quest for us. Completed another part. The eggs and the feathers. Gives us fried chicken. Perfect. Getting some interesting rewards for Evilcraft. Name tag, always nice. A sturdy repair kit I will delete just because I don't have any silent gear materials. An oak beehive might be handy. A wolf spawn egg. Bunch of XP. And a drawer. And melon seeds. Let's see what we got. We got a diamond furnace. That's not bad. Some Imperium, iron, dark gems, dark power gems, feather falling 2. We are immune to fall damage. The sturdy repair kit, a beehive, a spawn egg. Don't know what a potentia sphere is. Looks like it turns into an ender pearl. Blood seeds we don't need. Basic tier we'll take. Productivity upgrades. Oh, a sturdy bee cage. Always nice to have more of those. Some oak drawers. Sharpness 3 won't really help us much. We did get a loot fabricator. That's nice. We got another blood extractor, which we can combine with our current one. Pretty much anything with a tank from Evilcraft, you can combine in a crafting grid very easily. Lantern of Paranoia sounds very nice. Putting it away for now. We don't need sharpness. I will try and eat these foods. Diamond Furnace will come in handy. We'll just upgrade this right away. Great to unobtainium. We're not making the creative thruster anytime soon. But we'll make this and keep it as a... It is a recipe later on. Could eat these at some point. I might try and manually eat them. But yeah, we've successfully got our ore setup going. We're now gathering ores passively. This is going to be more than enough to keep us going for a while. And just to give you a little sneak peek to something I'm planning, I left the spaces in the middle of these guys open for a very specific reason. And that is GregTech adds this block called the World Accelerator. It comes in many modes corresponding to each voltage tier up to UV, and it's made with field generators, sensors, and emitters, and a machine hull. But essentially, yeah, you can see it tick accelerates nearby blocks. It has 2 modes, a tile entity tick acceleration or a random tick acceleration. When it's doing block entity or tile entity mode, it just does adjacent blocks. When it's doing random tick mode, it does a 3x3 for the LV, or 5x5 for MV, all the way up to 17x17. So if I can, I'd like to be able to craft this, or the higher tier versions as we get there, and put that in the middle of all of these in my checkerboard pattern here, so that I can tick accelerate all of my mine shafts and get ores even faster. But with that, if you stuck around to the end, thank you for joining, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. I almost forgot. Our fusion reactor turned off. Looks like we have more than enough power in here. Just gonna turn this on again and let it build up some power. And we're generating millions of FE. Alright, bye for real.